by fascination. Miguel Almaguer, NBC News.
And that's Nightly News for this Wednesday. Thank you for watching. I'm Lester Holt. Please take care of yourself and each other. Good night.
I am not letting you send people out there.
Northland Basement Systems is the all things basementy company. Basement waterproofing, basement finishing, basement structural repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. When it comes to basement solutions, nobody does it better than we do. Since 1991, homeowners just like you in the Northland have trusted Northland Basement Systems for all things basementy in their homes. Call Northland Basement Systems today to schedule a free home evaluation.
Tomahawk Monument, when your loved ones deserve the best.
Straight ahead, the race for Supreme Court judge is heating up. We'll hear from one of the judges that are in the running. Plus, the 4 road closures continue in Lac du Flambeau. We'll explain how the town is working to resolve that dispute. And a dangerous crash was caught on camera. We'll have the details as your local news starts right now.
News Watch 12 with Jessica Jukic and Conrad Sapinski.
Welcome to News Watch 12 at 6. I'm Jessica Jukic. We're less than 1 week away from the spring primary where Wisconsinites will choose who will move on into the Supreme Court race. As part of our Meet the Candidates series, News Watch 12's Kyle Pozorski spoke with one of those candidates, Judge Janet Protasiewicz, to discuss why she hopes Wisconsinites will choose her as their next Supreme Court justice. She told Kyle that compared to years past, this Supreme Court race has been much more competitive and heavily publicized, but says it's a positive move because now more and more voters are becoming informed.
The Wisconsin Supreme Court makes decisions that impact everybody in this state and impact everything that everybody cares about.
The Milwaukee County judge is a Marquette University graduate who served as assistant district attorney for 25 years and is now looking to her fellow Wisconsinites to be elected to the court. She says that when it comes to her judicial philosophy, upholding the Constitution is her top priority.
What I can tell you is that I will follow the law and uphold the Constitution. Every decision I will ever make will be rooted in the law.
The primary is next Tuesday, where the top 2 candidates will move on to the general election come April. To view our full report on Judge Protasiewicz, head to our website, WJFW.com. It feels more like winter as the temperatures kind of dropped today, Conrad.
Yeah, we actually had a pretty nice morning high of around 40 degrees, right? Morning high, and then cold front came in, and look what happened. Taking a look outside right now, things are getting colder, but earlier this morning, very early in the morning, we did have high temperatures at around 40 degrees all over the north. We'll look at Wausau coming in at 44 degrees. So yes, of course, we melted a good amount of our snow, several inches of snow. Our average high should be around 28 degrees this time of year. Look at this record high, 49 degrees in 1984. So we were just 8 degrees shy of breaking our record high temperature for this time of year, but still very mild temperatures were in the area. Now a cold front came in and things have really cooled down. We're hovering at around 24 degrees here in town, 23 in Eagle River, Arborvita, same story. Manitowish Waters and Lando Lakes are coming in with temperatures around 22 degrees. Wausau is still hovering close to the freezing mark at around 31 degrees right now, but at least we are all below freezing and things are finally starting to get a little bit icy out there. We did have a couple of flurries earlier today. For the most part, we are under some mostly cloudy skies at the moment. Tonight, though, temperatures are going to continue to cool down, still above average and hovering at around 14 degrees. Jessica?
Thank you, Conrad. The Lac du Flambeau Town Hall held a regular town meeting today where they discussed the current road closures. During the meeting, the town board approved the motion for the town attorney to look for alternative routes to get around the roads that were in question in the area. The roads that are closed are Annie Sun Lane, Center Sugarbush Lane, East Ross Allen Lane, and Elsie Lake Lane. The president of Lac du Flambeau Tribe sent a letter to the town board declining the town's offer in regards to road closures. The town board hopes to continue negotiating with the tribe. Spectrum is looking for more field technicians to help bring more internet service to the Northwoods. Charter Spectrum is looking to add more than 100 field technicians across the state as part of a series of internet network build-out projects. In Rhinelander today, Spectrum held a hiring event where applicants could pop in, get interviewed, and possibly leave with a job offer. Paul Christofferson is a field operations manager at Spectrum and says this job is more than just a chance to help the community.
We have an excellent training program that lasts approximately 12 weeks. So if you have, the interest in this field, there's a lot of opportunities for you to expand your career and to have a great job.
Spectrum is hoping to install a new fiber optic network in the Northwoods as part of a $5 billion investment by the company to serve rural communities. The company's expansion will provide broadband access to approximately 1 million customer locations across 24 states in the coming years, as estimated by the FCC. Christofferson says the new network will give a large boost to customers' internet service.
The internet product is very robust. It's an extremely good product for offering that access to the World Wide Web and to bringing those customers that are underserved into the new internet world.
Spectrum will have an additional hiring event on March 1st, 16th, and 29th, and will make same-day offers for those openings. You can also apply by visiting jobs.spectrum.com/hiring event. A Milwaukee bus driver never thought he would be hospitalized and unable to walk. The driver was hit by a vehicle while crossing the street and thrown into the air. Miraculously, he survived that accident, which was caught on a doorbell camera. As Ben Johnson reports, he wants everyone to see the impact of him getting hit in hopes it will teach people to slow down and look out for pedestrians.
Maybe God has some other plans for me, and that's why he let me survive this.
Bruised and unable to walk with broken bones all over his body.
The way people were telling me I could have been dead.
James Macon is recovering from serious injuries.
I want people to see that I'm blessed and to show how violent that was. So yeah, show the whole thing.
He insists we show the reason why he remains in the hospital. Home surveillance video captured the initial crash and the frightening footage of James being thrown into the air and onto the ground.
All I remember is hearing the bang, and after I heard the bang, I was in the street.
James says he had just finished his shift as a Milwaukee County bus driver and was crossing the street at Sherman and Townsend to get to his car and head home. While he waited on the median, Milwaukee police say a driver ran a red light, resulting in a T-bone wreck. Do you feel lucky to be alive?
Oh, yeah, 100%, because being a bus driver, I see this stuff going on all the time.
As someone who has made a career driving the streets of Milwaukee, James says he's always been aware of the risk reckless driving presented on the job. But he never thought he would be hit while walking.
This is something I've been talking about for months and months and months, where the people out here driving crazy. Something got to change.
James thinks Milwaukee's reckless driving crisis can only be tamed if more dangerous drivers are held accountable in criminal court. What solutions are needed to make Milwaukee's roads safer?
We got laws, follow the law, enforce the law. This is not going to end right now, and I got lucky.
While James awaits surgery to help him get back on his feet, he hopes drivers who regularly run red lights think about the harm it can cause to others caught in their path.
The next person's not going to get lucky. And I don't think nobody's going to really take it serious until it happens to somebody in their family.
Coming up, a partial roof collapse closes roads in Minnesota, and the FAA is ordering a sweeping review of the agency after several close calls. We'll have the details after Weather with Conrad right here on Newswatch 12.
This portion of Newswatch 12 is brought to you by Slumberland.
A former prosecutor, now circuit court judge, Janet Protasewicz. On the Supreme Court, she'll be a common-sense judge. She believes in protecting our freedoms, fairness for all, and public safety. Janet Protasewicz for Supreme Court.
Whether it's for work or play, you want a truck that'll get the job done right. We have them all. half-ton trucks, Power Strokes, Cummins, Duramax, SUVs, over 800 to choose from. Know that all Lenz trucks are fully inspected, certified clean, can be purchased online, and can be delivered right to your door. It's our way of saying thanks to our past and future customers for the last 35 years. Go now to lenztruck.com.
Lenz Truck.
Season after season, customers have found that when it comes to replacing their windows, there's only one company to call, Renewal by Andersen. Call today to schedule your free window diagnosis because this incredible offer is only available for a limited time. Renewal by Andersen, the better way to a better window.
Race to savings on stylish solutions for every room with window treatments at Menards. Get window images, room darkening vinyl and aluminum blinds, full wood blinds, and cellular shades trimmed to width for free. Get room darkening cordless vinyl blinds for $12.99. Meet all your flooring needs with Tarkett. Invitation laminate flooring is a quick and easy way to update your home. It's durable, stain and fade resistant, and on sale for only $139 a square foot.
Save big money at Menards. If you're a contractor or do-it-yourselfer, make Argonne Lumber your first stop. High-quality materials, personalized service, expert staff, and delivery are just some of the things Argonne Lumber is known for. Stop in and smell the lumber at Argonne Lumber, 2 locations in Argonne and Rhinelander.
As a prosecutor for 25 years and now as a judge, I know what it takes to keep Wisconsin communities safe. I'm Judge Janet Protasewicz. On the Supreme Court, we need more common sense and less extremism. It's time for a change.
And welcome back, folks. What a mess out there yesterday. We had a good amount of rain, close to 1 inch of rainfall, so lots of snow was melting. So far this season, though, we're still a little bit above average. We have around 52.5 inches of snowfall this season. That is around 9 inches short of last year. Remember how snowy it was? We had over 90 inches of snowfall last season, but hey, at least it's more than what we had 2 years ago, coming in at around 41.1 inches of snow. And then 2018, 2019 season, and then 2019 and 2020 season, around 70 inches of snow. So that was definitely a way above average snowfall season to date. Right now, though, we do have some mostly cloudy skies, a couple of flurries still lingering in the area. That's going to continue into tonight and then mostly into tomorrow as we're going to have some mostly cloudy skies, some flurries in the area. Most of the heavier lake effect snow will be up in the UP. But now let's talk about this next low pressure system right about here, just east of Denver, starting to develop right now. It's going to continue to move like this. So Madison, Chicago, Milwaukee area, once again, is going to be the big winner, kind of like deja vu from last week. For us, we're not going to get in on this storm as the heavier snow will be south of Green Bay as well, south of the Dells, where we're looking at several inches of snowfall in Milwaukee, northwest suburbs of Chicago, right into Madison. But we will get a couple of lake effect snow showers in the area throughout the day on Thursday. We're not looking at a lot of accumulation here in town, maybe half an inch at most, and a lot more snow in the UP, of course, with those heavier lake effect snow bands, with that lake effect snow machine in full effect. We're looking at several inches of snowfall in the UP. Here in town, though, maybe a trace to half an inch, so nothing to really worry about. But that low pressure system that's going to be south of us, it's going to bring a pretty good punch of snow, around several inches of snow, northern Illinois into southern Wisconsin, 6, 7, maybe even 8 inches of snowfall. So locations in pink are under some winter storm warnings. We're definitely missing out on that one. But take a look at this. This is very interesting. So we do have a cold front right about here, just crossing the Chicago border right now into Indiana and going into the Ohio Valley, where temperatures are still in the 50s and 60s. New York City, look at that. 63 degrees. They were close to 70 degrees earlier today. Wow, really feels like summer out there. Incredible stuff. But everything's going to start to change. This is just ahead of a cold front moving in, and we're going to continue to stay cold. Besides Saturday into Sunday, look at next week. Back into the 20s. Temperatures start to cool off once again. So get ready. We will start to cool down. It is a bit windy out there right now. We had some winds around 30 miles an hour earlier today. Now we're looking at around 14, 15 here in town. Tonight, though, temperatures will be hovering at around 14 degrees. Cloudy skies, some breezy conditions once again. A flurry or two cannot be ruled out. Our 7-day outlook brought to you by Northwoods Furniture and Mattress does show a nice-looking week besides Monday and Tuesday, where more chances of snow showers arrive. Jessica?
Thank you, Conrad. Marijuana legislation may or may not be considered in the Wisconsin state budget tonight, but the majority of Wisconsinites may already have easy access to the drug. A new report from the Wisconsin Policy Forum found that 50% of all Wisconsinites above the age of 21 already live within a 75-minute drive to a recreational marijuana dispensary in another state. Both Illinois and Michigan allow for recreational use of cannabis, while Minnesota is poised to approve recreational use this year. What this means for Wisconsin is that residents are likely buying cannabis products, but the state has no policy control over those sales and isn't profiting from the tax revenue. Illinois brought in more than $445 million from taxes in 2022 from all marijuana sales, between 25 and 35% of sales coming from non-residents. The city of Mankato has closed several streets downtown after a partial roof collapse at a Landmark Center building. The roads are closed to both vehicle and pedestrian traffic. According to Mankato Public Safety, the roads will remain closed at least overnight and probably into tomorrow, while structural engineers assess the damage and take steps to secure that building. The Landmark building is more than 100 years old and was set to undergo a $12 million redevelopment project. The nation's top aviation officials spoke about the safety risks of complacency in a Senate hearing today, following a series of close calls and technical issues impacting U.S. air traffic. Mike Valerio has the latest on how the FAA is addressing key safety concerns amid mounting criticism.
The acting head of the Federal Aviation Administration ordering a sweeping review of the agency following near collisions,
Delta 1943, cancel takeoff clearance.
close calls,
It was very close, and we believe less than 100 feet.
and a crippling computer outage that temporarily grounded flights nationwide last month.
We're missing the first week for a funeral.
Appearing before the Senate Commerce Committee Wednesday, acting FAA Administrator Billy Nolan says air travel has never been safer, but acknowledged the problems plaguing the aviation industry.
And I say to the American public that we are safe. The answer is that we are. If the question is, can we be better? The answer is absolutely.
Nolan said accelerated efforts to upgrade the NOTAM safety messaging system that failed in January will mostly be completed by mid-2025, but said that vulnerabilities remain in that system, which is responsible for providing pilots with critical pre-flight safety information.
Could I sit here today and tell you there will never be another issue on the NOTAM system? No, sir, I cannot.
Recent near collisions that have also raised concerns, including one between a FedEx cargo plane and a Southwest jet in Austin last week, are currently under investigation, but Nolan says FAA safety measures prevented potential disasters.
When we think about the controls, how we train both our controllers and our pilots, the system works as it's designed.
Yet Nolan says sustaining and implementing these systems means a lot of work ahead.
Recent events remind us that we cannot and must not become complacent and must continually invest in our aviation system.
I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
Coming up, a local curling club is gearing up for a national championship. And an annual event is tweaking its race. We'll explain what's different in this weekend's Book Across the Bay in Ashland.
Furniture and Appliance Mart's President's Day weekend blowout is here. Get the guaranteed lowest prices and holiday discounts starting at 30% and up to 60% off furniture and mattress doorbusters. This weekend only at Furniture and Appliance Mart.
Hold up. I'll be right there. It's about time.
Get personalized support. Call the Wisconsin Tobacco Quit line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
So right, check middle, and on the left.
Yeah, I knew I'd win.
Are you saying
What's
something?
really happening over there?
I think you're on mute.
There's no substitute for real gaming fun. Go where fun lives. Old Chum Gaming Wittenberg.
It's Auto Show. The deals start now, and so should you. Get started on your next Ford SUV, like Bronco, Explorer, or the new Escape. Get here to get a deal on the SUV's #1 in brand loyalty. It's Auto Show. The deals start now, and so should you. During Auto Show, choose Flex Buy on Escape, Edge, or Explorer with 3.9% APR financing for 66 months plus 1,000 Auto Show cash.
Blain's Farm and Fleet is hosting a hiring event for our new Rhinelander location coming this spring. We're hiring part-time and full-time for our store and automotive service center. Join us at the Pines Event Center in Rhinelander as we meet with candidates on Tuesday, February 14th through the 16th from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. One of Forbes' best mid-size employers 4 years in a row. Blain's Farm and Fleet offers competitive pay, great benefits, and paid holidays off. See you on the 14th through the 16th at the Pines Event Center.
Furniture and Appliance Mart's President's Day Weekend Mattress Blowout event is here. Save up to 75% on mattress doorbusters from the top brands. Or save big on Tempur-Pedic and Purple adjustable mattress sets. Only at Wisconsin's #1 mattress retailer, Furniture and Appliance Mart.
This portion of News Watch 12 is brought to you by Slumberland.
Welcome back. Next month, Wausau will host the USA Curling Club National Championships. 24 teams will travel from all across the country to north central Wisconsin. Club president Kim Susans was excited to receive a call from USA Curling with the offer. She sees it as a chance to attract more people to play in Wausau.
Our hope is that in the future, some of the people from some of these other clubs who participated in this national event will come back to curl with us.
Unlike other tournaments where teams can be stacked, all people must be from the club they're representing. While the tournament has plenty of action and competition, it's also a social opportunity for all clubs involved.
We're all friends. We've all curled with each other. We've all curled against each other. We have a good relationship. You know, we're friends off the ice, too.
This is the first time the club will be hosting that event. The tournament starts on March 15th and runs through the 19th. After 25 years of crossing Chequamegon Bay from one side to another, this year's version of Book Across the Bay in Ashland will have a new course layout. Newswatch 12's Nick Van Zyl spoke to event organizers and has more. Nick?
Thanks, Jessica. Book Across the Bay started in 1997 with racers skiing across Chequamegon Bay from Ashland to Washburn. Since then, the races shifted its start and finish lines between the towns, and participants were left to figure out the logistics of getting to their vehicle. Now, racers won't have to worry about getting back to their vehicle following the event.
Historically, the first 25 chapters, we've started in one city and ended in another.
This year, for the first time, Book Across the Bay has the start and finish line in Ashland. The new course layout is the biggest change for this year's chapter of the race, but not the only change. Benjamin Thone and other event organizers have added a fire-breathing dragon sculpture at the race's halfway point called Dragon Island, as well as a fourth wave of competitors.
You're not feeling the full 11.1 kilometer route this year. You can cut right across to the return track and head back to the party anytime you feel like it.
The event will not allow headlamps or flashlights, as the trail will be illuminated every 50 feet with a homemade luminary.
A luminary. It's a 5-gallon bucket of ice that we partially freeze and drill and drain, and then we've got some homemade lanterns that light the entire trails.
In addition to the luminaries lighting the trail, local businesses will make it easy for participants to take a break.
But every kilometer, a local business or club sponsors a rest station. There's a bonfire, snacks, warming tents, that sort of thing.
If you've completed the entire 11.1 kilometers or taken a shortcut, the luminaries will lead you back to the finish line located at Creer Park in Ashland. And what can participants expect to find at the end? According to Mary McFederidge,
tent will be down at the start line and finish line, of course, and they'll have music and chili and all sorts of things after the race.
Regardless if you're in the first wave or the fourth, the candlelit race is sure to be a unique experience for all.
As much as it is a timed race, most folks are just out having a good time.
Racers can still register online for the event or register in person at the start-finish line on Saturday.
Madison liberals are trying to take over the Wisconsin Supreme Court. That's why we need to elect conservative Justice Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly has a proven record of protecting our freedoms and cast the deciding vote to end the COVID lockdowns of our schools and businesses. Sheriffs across Wisconsin have endorsed Dan Kelly because he has a record of enforcing the law. On February 21st, Vote conservative justice Dan Kelly for Wisconsin Supreme Court. Fair Courts America paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here and ready to help. Anyone in Wisconsin can call, text, or chat to get connected to a trained 988 counselor. Trained counselors are here to support anyone experiencing a suicidal, mental health, or substance use crisis. You can also contact 988 if you're concerned about someone. 988 is confidential and free to all Wisconsin residents. 988 24/7. Call, text, chat. Here to support you.
Season after season, year after year, customers have found that when it comes to replacing their windows, there's only one company to call. Renewal by Andersen. Call the number at the bottom of your screen right now and take advantage of this limited time offer. So what makes Renewal by Andersen so good? Fibrix, an innovative composite material exclusive to Andersen that provides strength and durability, far surpassing vinyl. In fact, it won't warp or bow over time like vinyl does. Get the window replacement solution proven to stand the test of time, plus the peace of mind that comes from a superior service experience. That's Renewal by Andersen. Now is the perfect time to call for your free window diagnosis. This fantastic offer is available only for a limited time. Don't delay and miss out. Here's your opportunity to save money without compromising on quality. Call now before this remarkable offer expires. Renewal by Andersen. The better way to a better window.
To everyone who believes in tradition, come enjoy a few of ours from Wisconsin.
People in Wisconsin love a good fish fry.
Really love. And we love sharing it with guests everywhere.
At Culver's, we still batter our North Atlantic cod by hand to order.
And we cook it to a crispy, golden perfection just for you.
For you.
For you. So it's crispy outside, flaky inside. Let us take care of you.
With some homegrown traditions we were raised on.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
That's all the time we have. We'll see you back here at 10.
Mr. Food Test Kitchen is brought to you by Golden Carrot Jewelers.
Typically, when we think of having a salad for lunch,